Welcome to FAULHABER Drive Time. In this video, I will show you how to select the right resolution for your encoder with focus on incremental encoders, which is the most commonly used encoder technology. Characteristic value for an encoder is the number of lines per revolution n. For FAULHABER encoders, you see the maximum lines per revolution already indicated in the naming. In this example, 1024 lines per revolution. For most of our encoders, there are several executions available. Here in my example, you can select between 6 different resolutions. Let's have a closer look on this term n lines per revolution. It defines the number of impulses, steps or periods generated by a 360-degree turn of the motor shaft on one channel. Remember, a 2-channel encoder generates 2 signals on the channels A and B respectively. Because the phase offset of 90 electrical degree of the channels, we can count 4 edges per line in one period. This is the so-called quadrature. You can call these edges also signal state changes, or increments, or resolution. Therefore, the resolution is 4 times the number of lines. An encoder with 1024 lines per revolution and 2 channels can count 4096 increments and measure, therefore, theoretically, an angle of 0.08 mechanical degree. Take care, the wording is not always consistent. So be sure that you know if it's about before or after quadrature. The second important value in selecting an encoder is the frequency range f. This is the maximum frequency at which the encoder electronics can switch back and forth between the low and the high signal level. The maximum achievable operating speed for the encoder can be calculated from this value and the number of pulses n. If this frequency range or the speed are exceeded, the result may be an incorrect measurement or permanent failure of the encoder. The conclusion is that for high-speed applications, we need to check the maximum frequency range of the encoder and controller and select a lower encoder resolution. What needs to be considered when measuring low speed? Imagine, the same sampling time you will have fewer signal. So, to detect the movements in between 2 positions, we require a higher encoder resolution in order to supply the controller with sufficient input data. Same is valid for fast controllers with short sampling time. Here, higher resolutions are required. For positioning tasks, the resolution should be 4 times higher than the required positioning angle. Use the 3rd channel for counter-checking the number of pulses. And we also recommend to use the line driver to avoid pulse losses. Remember that FAULHABER encoder are mounted on the motor shaft. So when using a gearhead, the resolution is increased by the reduction ratio of the gearhead. So a resolution of 1024 signals with a reduction ratio of 267 leads to more than 273,000 steps per turn. Is this the electronics feasible to count this? And on the other hand, there is the play of the gearhead. For example, 0.6 degree backlash leads to a deviation of over 70,000 counts. This does not make sense with a high-resolution encoder. So, in combination with gearheads, a resolution of 256 or below is usually enough. As one picture says more than 1000 words, let's play darts. With a low resolution, we just know if the dart hits the board or not. This is how I play darts. So let's increase the resolution to know how far we are from the center. Here we see a high resolution with a low accuracy and a low repeatability. After some training, we can become better in achieving a higher repeatability, but still have a low accuracy, or a good accuracy and a low repeatability. And this is what it looks like when somebody can play dart, with a high accuracy and a high repeatability. For accurate speed measurement and to position precisely, a high accuracy is not enough. Tolerances in the entire drive system must be taken into account, like the concentricity of the motor shaft. The values in our datasheet must be understood always in combination with FAULHABER motors. To summarize, let's have a look in the datasheet again. Here is the name that indicates the type of the encoder, so incremental or absolute. How many channels? 2 or 3. A line driver, L, and the maximum resolution. Here you find the selectable resolutions and dependent frequency range, the accuracy, and here the repeatability. Below the combination possibilities, you find the output circuit and the output signals that are transferred in the pinout of the connector variants. In case of further questions, we have some interesting webinars on our homepage. Feel free to contact our MC support, our local sales, use the chat possibility, or just write down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Check out our other videos on FAULHABER Drive Time or subscribe to our channel to be updated about the new videos. Take care and goodbye.